Good morning, everyone. So my name is Santana and I'm a solicitor here at MJT Law. So this morning I want to spend a little bit of time speaking about what is a chronology and how can you do it well. So think of a chronology as your story, and specifically it's your ability to tell your story to us. We know that you know all your facts, you live your dispute or your matter every day, so you know it in and out. But we unfortunately don't. We have a number of matters, so take this as an opportunity to tell us what's going on. So we might ask you for a chronology for an unfair dismissal or a general protections application, discrimination application, or just a dispute generally. So again, think of it as your story, and the things to think about is the more detail, generally the better, because allow us to think about what is relevant and what is not, because that in the end is our job. So the things to think about is for each event or sort of point, give us a date that it occurred, or if you can't remember a specific date, roughly when it happened. So perhaps around April last year. And for each event or point, just put that in its own paragraph. When you have, for example, you're referring to a conversation that you may have had, it's really helpful for you to, obviously, if you can, give us the date or around when it happened, who was there. So as best you can, their full name, and as best you can, their position or their job at your employer. So again, when you have a conversation, it's really helpful if you tell us how it occurred. So did it happen over the phone? Did it happen over Microsoft Teams? Did it happen in person? Where may have it occurred if it happened in person? And when we're speaking about conversations, it's really good for you to tease out what happened. So for example, on the 21st of April, I said to Kelly X, and then Kelly said to me Y. And then when we're thinking about, for example, emails or documents, it's really helpful for us if you give us a copy of those documents. So if you can, go through your emails, find where it's happening, and send those to us. So I've prepared an example here for you to have a look at. So you can see here, I've started at the very beginning of my employment. So you can see here on the 1st of January 2010, I began working in the position of sales assistant. And you can see here I've attached my employment contract. But then you can actually see here that I've fast forwarded to 2016, where my dispute actually begins. So I've written, I was brought into the office to have a discussion regarding my termination, and I was provided with a show cause notice. And then I go to again on the 21st of July, my employee sent me a text message saying that I was lucky to still be an employee. And again, I've attached that text message. But then you can see here on the 23rd of July, I've had a conversation. So my employer pulled me aside, and where it was, so it's in the hall, and said that I, quote, needed to get my act together. So one thing to remember is if you can remember a specific quote and you're confident that that's exactly what was said, really good to indicate to us that it was an exact quote. So then on the 24th of July 2016, my employee sent me an email to my colleague saying that I was, again, a quote, on my way out, and that they needed to prepare to say goodbye. And again, I've attached that email. And then just lastly, on the 28th of July 2016, I was provided a termination letter. My employer emailed me regarding my show cause notice, saying that they were unsatisfied, with my response. And again, I've attached that. So the takeaway here is think of it as your story. Don't think about what we may or may think is relevant. It's your story to us, and in the end, a good chronology will allow us to give better advice to you, more clearer advice, and in the end will probably make your matter a little bit cheaper, which is always good for everyone. But if you have any questions, feel free to call us or email us, and we'll be more than happy to help. Thanks.